Hey, hello folks, I'm Dan. Back with the Atlas 10-inch lathe today. Been kind of a big push on the first part to get the headstock done, the bed fairly well straightened around, and that stuff on there so that I've got that out of the way and we can kind of get down to cleaning and fitting and taking our time on stuff a little bit more. So hopefully we'll get some decent videos here. My face isn't too dirty today like it was yesterday and all that good stuff. So anyway, today what I'm doing is I'm just going to disassemble the turret tailstock and clean it up. This is the Atlas 10-inch turret tailstock. 6 position, automatically unlocks when you reach the backstroke, so you can index it. Got depth stops, standard fare for a production tailstock. You know, you have to manually index them, but this was kind of the thing for the day unless you got into the Logans or the Hardings or some of the other bigger lathes. 3/4 inch holes in your 6 positions on your turret. If you ordered the turret tailstock with your lathe, it came pre-bored to 3/4 inches to match the lathe, so everything was in alignment. If you ordered it separate from your lathe, I believe it was drilled or bored undersize, and then you actually bored to match the center height and position on your lathe, so you had good alignment with it. So at some point in time, after this is all together and we start checking things for alignment and everything, I may have to build a new turret piece itself and rebore that, depending on what the alignment is. A lot of the turret tool is adjustable for center anyway, so it'll compensate for that. See, this has already got some inserts in it that were in it previously when I purchased this tailstock, and it looks like it's special purpose. They're approximately 1/4 inch holes, and they had a drill set up in it or some particular piece of tooling. And if you're building them like that, well, you can put your insert in and then bore it on the lathe, or they're adjustable with some of the tooling that you get with them. Turret tailstock, you've got 4 inches of travel on it, which is probably more than I'll ever use on this tailstock. You can adjust your depth stops. You've got depth on the back. I see we've got a little bit of wobble here. I think that's going to be normal for this. Some of that can be taken out, but I don't know if they've done anything else. They've got 2 pinch clamps, but I played with those a little bit, and when you tighten them just a little bit, why it really stiffens up the tailstock. So that may or may not be an option to take out some of that slop within reason. There again, it rotates on axis, so it's really not an issue, but we'd like them to be a little bit tighter than that. Other than that, we're just going to disassemble this, clean it all up. We'll go ahead and powder coat the 3 castings to match the gray that we've got on the rest of it, and we'll put it back together, get this pretty well cleaned up, set up, and ready to go, with the exception of whatever we do with the turret here. Once that's done, I can go on to something else. We'll probably go on to the saddle is what we'll do next, and we're just going to start taking our time with this. It's a project that's been here for quite a while. I want to get it at least moving forward a little bit. So that's where we're at. So we're just going to disassemble this, and I'm actually going to run it through the solvent tank too, just to clean it up and get a little bit better idea on condition. But this is what we've got. So we'll just do a quick disassembly and start throwing things into the solvent tank. All 3 of these had bushings. We may rebush those. We'll see what condition they're in when we get that far. Got a little gear that's screwed into place. 3 screws. That'll be a typical Zamac gear that Atlas produced. We've got a locking pin here that is going to be spring loaded. Okay, this dog pin goes underneath there. That's what releases that. pin. There's our locking dog. And we've got a spring under this end. Those will rest together. And that's our casting disassembled. Pretty cool. It's almost like they knew how to build stuff back then. Got a shaft goes all the way through. It is threaded on the end. And it's just got a collar on this end. Okay, it is keyed on the bottom. Let's look at that. Keyed with a set screw in there to lock it in place. The lock should pop right out, and it does. And there's our key. For that, we'll have to look and see if that's adjustable anyplace else to tighten that up. And that should slide right out. Keyed across the bottom. Got an oiler on top. Okay, it looks like on the bottom we've got screw slots here. So let's just put those together. We've got adjustment screws for our set over. Got an oiler here. That looks to be the only oiler on it. We've got our stop rod there, which I'm speculating is probably a press fit. I don't see a lock screw. We're going to put these all in the solvent tank. We'll get them cleaned up and inspect them. I don't expect to find any real surprises with this tailstock. I think it's in real good condition. This is basically just going to be a clean it up and repaint it, put it back together, and get it set in position on the lathe so we can move forward onto the carriage. So we'll get that done. I'll go ahead and powder coat it, and then we'll go ahead and start reassembly. I'll have the bluing tanks running, I think, tomorrow, so I may very well clean up these adjustments and blue them. I see they've been chewed up a little bit on the ends on part of them, so we'll probably recut the slots on those. And hopefully this gives you a little bit more information. At least we know how these come apart again. We'll clean them up and get it going. So hopefully this is a little bit more informative than the beginning of this series was. Hopefully you can get a little bit out of it. And if this interests you, I go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like. If you hit the bell notification, you'll know when I put out a new video. And any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for taking the time to watch.